frequent of all of the personalities, only 1.5% of the total population. 1.3% of the population that are INFJs are male, and 1.6 are female. This is interesting because we need to look at how they really simply are not that frequent, and it's difficult for an INFJ to find another INFJ. Their learning style, however, is energized by making connections between people, feelings, values, and knowledge. They're visionaries. They're future-oriented. They're always seeking and looking for possibilities. They often think in metaphors. They're task-oriented learners who enjoy making connections and recognizing relationships between information. They enjoy playing with ideas and possibilities, and they seek the purpose of learning to be for personal growth and development. An INFJ tends to focus on the theory and underlying meanings. They're very independent. And because they're very independent, they also like to quietly engage in their interests. They are very reflective, and they reflect so in depth that at times they forget what else is going on around them. They're also willing to challenge authorities and information. They'll even challenge teachers. They learn best when they study alone. They need a lot of quiet for their concentration. They prefer to express any kind of creative ideas in writing, and they want their teachers to be very, very enthusiastic. Their best and most wonderful learning space is one that's going to be focused and structured with complex information, which has a great emphasis as well on concepts and on relationships. For some study tips, there are a few things that a learner can do. For instance, look for opportunities to scaffold new information into existing information. This means that you want to look and see how you can get the information that you're learning into the information that you already know. What kind of connections can you make? Create some systematic ways to learn, and seek guidance from your teacher or an educator or a counselor who is professionally trained with a variety of methodologies to teach and to be able to really scaffold that information. Search for additional resources, especially those that may not be provided by your instructor, and don't forget to set your own learning goals. A great idea for an INFJ would be to use a great note-taking system such as Cornell Notes. This is going to allow you space on the page to include your personal notes and reflections. Be sure to also include some ideas of how these are going to integrate to what you already know, and also how it's going to impact other people. Remember that as an INFJ, you really are interested in harmony and looking at feelings and looking at how information impacts your relationships, your values, and how it impacts others. And because of that, during this note-taking time, be sure that you include some of those ideas. You may want to also put some questions on the side of your notes to remind you to look for connections between information and how that information can really help those that you know. Some other study tips would be to remember to find out other INFJs, because since they are so rare, look and see if you can find someone and find out what strategies that they use for learning and studying. Create some questions on your topics before you go in, especially on any kind of knowledge, and be prepared to really address the questions and look for those answers during class. Now, if you can't find those interests and those answers during class, be sure that you look them up later. Search the internet. Ask professors, see where you can use them and how it can help others. And also, be sure take time to reflect.